revelations of the elites at a very high level, and we actually know the basic number of them as well, are doing human trafficking, human rape, and human sacrificing of children because they're the closest to God. And when I read this, I mean, it's unthinkable. Like, you don't want to believe it. And so I mentioned it on Joe Rogan, but I also mentioned that I was starting an AI company. And what shocked me is after the show, more people wanted to talk about the AI thing, and more people were upset about, that I was starting an AI company than they were about, this nightmare of elites eating babies.
It's the first time since 2012, that there are no British actors nominated for Best Actor or Best Actress. Yeah. British spokesperson said, yeah, well, at least we arrest our pedophiles. So we got that going for it.
And so then I started thinking about why is this happening? We've seen people who have spoken about it, who have been who have participated in it and who have left. It's a kind of it's an initiation that you go through to become a confidence initiation that you go through to become part of a team. And that's when I realized that this is not something that's unique to the elites, that human nature involves these kinds of hazing initiations, or else we wouldn't see it happening since childhood.
Andrew Breitbart, I'm quoting you, in a newspaper interview he gave last year discussing the people who run Hollywood. Quote, yes, quote, I'm telling you, they're uninteresting, they're vicious, they're vitriolic, they're really, really not good people, and I'm willing to say that on the record, close quote. Is there any of that you regret?
No.
What makes them really, really not good people?
Well, I'm not saying the entirety, but the ones who have controlled Hollywood for the last 40 years, that quote could be attributed to the campus left as well. It could be attributed to people who are in charge in Venezuela right now. Anywhere where the left gets control, you start to see political correctness run amok. You start seeing dissenting views quashed. They use projection. Right before they do so, they start attacking the people that they're about to go after of being guilty of the very things that they do.
And lesser magic, which the Satanists do, they'll tell you, they show the thing in play before they do it. They believe it. It makes it happen, and it gives it more power once they do it. And then you have the Podesta plan that if Trump won, they would actually do this and have the military turn against Trump, but now they've tried it. It's not an endorsement of Trump. He's doing some things I don't like right now. The point is they are literally pre-programming this and admitting it.
Yeah, and they're willing it into happening, and they're showing everyone an example of what it would be. So that, again, the revelation of the method, you see what's there, and it makes it okay for it to happen. And it's a form of also of predictive programming. And
you started to get it on the show, but then I do it too. He cut you off on another subject. Elaborate, because I've studied the Graham Grimoires, black magic, all that stuff to understand these people. They talk about, you have to show them, you have to tell them. That's metaphysical rule. It also gets them ready, and then it makes it even more powerful when you actually do it. And then you realize that they're doing this. Speak to that if you can.
Well, we live in a universe of mind, and the one thing I've started to realize is that these kind of forms of spells, this magic is real. When you believe something enough, you create a reality.
Yeah, we call it a spell. What it is a narrative to control your mind, and we can build incredible things. So it's a program.
It is a program. You select it, you project it, you expect it, and then you collect it. It's the spec method, and it actually works. And so people who are using it for, there's good spells and bad spells, and there's spells that are promoting humanity, and then there's spells that are disintegrating humanity. When people are, doing sacrifice, whether it's human sacrifice or animal sacrifice. The reason they're doing it is because it works.
I reckon Lottie.
We are here. Welcome to the show, March 25th, 2026. Thank you for being here on this wonderful Wednesday night live broadcast. Want to talk about a couple things real quick while we're getting going here. Where I could see it, I've totally forgot. Might need that. All right, got it. Yeah. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Iran war. We're going to talk about a few other things tonight. John, we're going to move this. We're going to flop these. Oh, I'm going to flop these. I'm going to put this one up here. Stand by. Go. Back up here. Hold on. Where we at? I lost it. Okay. This guy. So we can see it, brother. We're doing some on the fly stuff here.
These revelations.
Excuse me. Making a adjustment here. Excuse me very much. Sorry about that, everybody. I have to have this. We've talked about it. It has to be a certain way, or else I lose my marbles, and I have very few brain cells left as it is. So, thank you for being here. Okay, we're good. Everything's good. We got sound. We have our videos that we're going to roll with tonight, and we are good to go. One of the things I want to talk about tonight is this. We have, and how do I do this? For those of you that know me from all the shows that I've done for, I guess we're around in 6 years right now, where I've been on live on broadcast here with Inspector Webb. First we had our first one. We changed the name, because it was too confusing. Because we used to be Conversation with John D when we were on YouTube in the beginning, and then we changed it to Inspector Webb because everything else was Inspector Webb. And I was thinking that I was going to hide out, kind of hide out and be, just somebody broadcasting whatever I wanted to broadcast. And I was kind of at the time during 2020, I was concerned about the FBI kicking my door down. So I did that. Then I was like, you know what? The hell with it. We're just going to go with it. And so we switched everything over to Inspector Webb and Inspector Webb Podcast. Then I got banned off of YouTube. And so we went on the scramble to get, channels going. Then we was able to get X back when Elon came around. And so we've been building from Rumble since then. Now we're Inspector Webb. So everywhere you can find us, Inspector Webb on all the platforms, whether it's locals or YouTube or inspectorweb.com, which you can watch the live show there as well on the website, or Spotify, Kick. We've got them all. So we've branched out to see if we can get everybody out here, everybody that sees us from all the different platforms. The next one we're going to do this week, or next week, probably this week, is Apple Podcasts. We're going to start running that one. It'll be after the show. We'll have to do the podcast, like a restream broadcast where it's just, pod, which is sound only. We're going to do that. And, but my reason to say all that stuff is this. I've been a Trump supporter. I was a Trump supporter when it wasn't cool. And I've always been, Trump, 100%. 2016, 2020. Got the bulletproof. All right. We've been here. We have been here. We've been banned off of different platforms because we're 100% Donald Trump. And while that was going on, we had the assumption that the things that he was saying, he was going to hold true to his word, because he had done that in 2016 when he got in office in 17, and he did a really, whether you like it or not, he did a pretty good job in 16 or 17 up until 19 when the flu came about, and he did a pretty good job. And I don't know what happened in 2026, but in the last 6 months, something has happened, and it's been a dramatic shift. It's been, noticeable, very noticeable shift. Matter of fact, it's so noticeable, it's almost scary that the shift has happened. And I wanna say something about it. President Donald Trump, this is directly to you. We're going to cut this out, John. We're going to get it on all the platforms. Cut this. See, StreamYard, cut this. It's supposed to be able to say that. It's supposed to cut that for me. So we don't care about the stock market. We don't care about the economy. We don't care about Israel or any other country except for the United States of America and the people, the people of the United States. All we care about. You have an opportunity right now to change course. And what I mean is like a dramatic change course, because what you're doing with Israel is, in my opinion, worse than what was happening under Biden with Ukraine. Now, this is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. It reminds me going back to when who was it? Ronald Reagan. 9 worst terrifying words. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan. Remember that? President Ronald Reagan, when he said that? I'm here to help. Now, you've done a great job, man. You really have. You've really made you've really turned a lot of things around. $22 trillion in income coming into the United States within the next 10 years. All that stuff is great. But what's going on right now, you're sending troops, and I got the clips. You're sending troops to the Middle East. On the ground, troops in the Middle East. And that is just something that we didn't sign up for. I don't think any of us signed up for that. Think about it. None of us have signed up. We did not sign up for that. We signed up for lower taxes and no tax on tips, not taxing the retirees, better health care, government, getting rid of all the government corruption. What we signed up for. We signed up for the 20 top things that you ran on. Closing the border, getting rid of corruption, all those things. That's what we signed up for. That's what I signed up for. That's what all of us signed up for. Whoever's saying that, because the Fox polls comes, I think it was Fox News comes out with a poll, and they're polling the Iran war, and 85% or 86% of American Republicans are for this war. That is wrong and not true. You know who's for the war? All the people, and I'm going to say this, all the cucks, all the people that are now hovering around you, but when we were Trump 2016, they were never Trumpers. They didn't have anything to do with you. They said they'd never vote for you. They said that you was a piece of shit and that you were not fit to be president. That's what they said back then. They said it again in 2020 when they stole the election. By the way, we got kicked off of all the platforms because we were carrying the water for you, or the flag, or whatever you want, for the 2020 stolen election and and the COVID scam. We got kicked off of all the platforms: YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, all of them. We got kicked off all of them. Okay. And so what I want to say to you right now is you have an opportunity to reverse course and do something different. This Iran war is going to ruin everything that you worked for. All the hard work that you've done in the last year is going to go up in smoke in minutes because of this war in Iran that you say is not a war and it's just an operation. These people that are surrounded you, all these neocons, they're burying you because they want you to fail. That's all I'm going to say about it. Cut the clip. StreamYard, cut the clip. All right. I need to say that. I need to be clear about it because it's irritating my soul that all of us have been Trump supporters, ride or die Trump supporters, and getting shit from all of our family because all of our families like that guy is not suitable to be president, all that stuff that we went through in the last 10 years. And we voted for you. And here we are. I'm going to play this clip before we get started. We're going to just get warmed up here. We're going to get warmed up, okay? We're going to get warmed up. I think we need to get, what do you think, John? You think we need to get warmed up, John? We need to get warmed up? What do you think, buddy? Think we need to get warmed up? You can just say yeah. Stand by.
So, I hear you're a politician looking to fund your campaign. That's right, running for Congress. It's nice to meet you.
Hold on. I blew it. Hold on. It's a rookie move, okay? It's just a rookie move. I'm a rookie. All right. All right, here we go.
So,
I get one a day.
I
right?
hear
One rookie move
you're
a
a
day.
politician looking to fund your campaign. That's right, running for Congress. It's nice to meet you. I'm with AIPAC. What do you believe in? Well, I'm America First. Are you? Yeah, I use that term loosely. Oh, let me ask you this. How do you think you can best serve your constituents here in Texas? Well, I think by listening to their voices, their concerns, and then taking action by visiting Israel. How often? I mean, once seems like enough. And by once is enough, I mean multiple times? Like once a year? And once a month would be better, but actually every 2 weeks seems like a good balance to go talk to high-level officials in Israel to better learn how I can represent my constituents here in Texas, to hear it directly from them. Fascinating idea. It seems like you care. So, what are your feelings on this war with Iran? I mean, gosh, it's like a no-win situation. Just being in there is more war with Iran is that's how I feel about the war with Iran, wouldn't it be? As a potential member of Congress, why would you say it's necessary to stay in the war with Iran? Well, gosh, yeah, I mean, you got the WMDs or nukes, as we're calling it on this one, and you've got the the yada yada yada, America's best interest, is it? Yes. And what are your feelings on this Epstein files nonsense? I mean, these disgusting predators, we need full investigations and then prosecutions. Shouldn't we just move on from them? Really, I mean, these files just seem like a big distraction to me, don't they? Because I don't think anybody did anything wrong. What's your stance on hate speech? Well, it's ugly, but you can't have free speech without hate speech. Is that right? No, because free speech doesn't include hate speech. Hate speech about whom? Well, everybody? Israel, of course. The answer is Israel. And what, in your opinion, and the opinion of the voters that you'd represent, constitutes hate speech against Israel? Well, I think if you're not saying anything great, then it's hate. If it's not great, it's hate. Sounds like a good campaign slogan. If it's not great, it's hate. If it's not great, it's hate. Huh? It's catchy. Yeah. I think people in Texas will love it. Just curious, with 9/11, how do you explain the collapse of Building 7? It was hit by a plane. No, Building 7 was the one that was not hit by a plane. Oh. Yeah. Well, so that building fell because the debris from everywhere else got the windows really dirty and like weighted them down, and the vector of the planes into the other buildings just caused mass heat, and just obviously Building 7 would explode. It imploded. Obviously, implode is correct. Howard Lutnick. Oh, he's tremendous. Ted Cruz, loyal American. Lindsey Graham. I like Lindsey. Not gay. Not gay. Lindsey's good for America. I like where your head's at. I think you have a lot of potential in politics. Here's millions of dollars. Thank you. If you do a good job serving America, say that with me. Serving America. Serving America. Serving America. There's a lot more where that came from.
Hey, did you know there's one phase of sleep that almost everyone doesn't get enough of? And this one phase of sleep is responsible for most.
Perfect. There we go. Right on. We're back. You gotta love JP. He just lets you know how it is. A little sarcasm, a little joking, but he's being completely honest and truthful about exactly what it's like when you go to Congress and they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, buddy? You're my best friend. They'll get some cash for you, but what you're going to do is you're going to say that you're America first, and you're going to do everything that Israel wants you to do." Now, and I never thought that that was a thing. I always thought that the people that were, talking about it were, basically just, doing what they do best, which is, conflate and, all that stuff. And what we found out is, unfortunately, is that this whole thing is about Israel. And I'm still shocked. Really, I'm really still shocked. So anyway, John, I need to. I'm missing a video, so not on this. It's missing, so I need to pull it in. So let me go to web downloads. We'll see if we can pull it in while I'm talking. Web downloads. Right there. Click it. And let me find it. Hold on. Just give me a minute and I'll find it. Go down. All right. Go to videos. In the video right here. Nope. The other one. That one. Down. One more. Down one more. Right there. Right there. We're training my son. He's gonna help us out here. Go down to the bottom. All right. Hold on a second, and I'll tell you which one it is. Give me just a second. It's gonna be 6. Hold on. I'll find it in a minute. Just give me a second. Let me catch my. Okay, it's right there. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'll pull it in because it's not labeled. So that's what happened. I didn't label it because I totally got distracted. So it's all good. Anyway, where was I at? Pulled that one in and all right, buddy. I know what I'm doing here, so I'll just get this ready and then you can have it back. Give me a second. Yeah, so all right. So part of what we're talking about right now is this Israel garbage that I'm shocked. I thought that, it was just people that had a hard on for Israel. I'm just being honest. I mean, believe what you want, but I had no idea that it was to the level that it really is. And when I found out what it really is by paying attention, and mind you, I've only been doing this maybe 5, 6 years. So I was shocked to find out that there's so much, we're being manipulated so much. And you would think that, because, Netanyahu came on a couple days, week ago, whenever, a few days ago, when he came out of hiding, and he was like, "Do you think that Trump is really a pushover that that he doesn't do exactly what he wants?" I would hope that Trump is naive about this one because it wouldn't make any sense to me that a strong-willed man like Trump would fall for something as stupid as this because this is not good. This whole Iran thing, this whole thing is just it doesn't make sense to me at all. It makes as much sense as it would make to bomb Russia right now. I mean, in my opinion. And so we're in this thing, and I'm like a little freaked out about it. And you should be too. And so, it's horrible. That's what it is. It's horrible. We play this clip, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about this. Okay. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this coming out today. The U.S. issues a security alert to Americans around the world. Now, this article says that the U.S. Department of State.
What's going on? Shit. Sorry, guys. Let me get to the right clip here. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. Very interesting. So sorry that I'm a fucking idiot tonight.
You know, the Charlie Kirk assassination just keeps getting more and more crazy by the second. And Turning Point in this organization, I don't know what the hell they are doing, but they have lost it. I mean, completely lost it. They're now having a meltdown because Joe Kett is willing to testify in the Charlie Kirk assassination trial. So why, if you were the organization that Charlie Kirk ran and then he got assassinated, why in God's green earth would the employees at your organization being upset that somebody that may have more information than they even have, they're clueless. They don't even have an idea what information Joe Kent has, but they're over here having an absolute mental breakdown because of it. You got to give credit to the man Shadow of Ezra. He goes by @Shadow of Ezra. If you guys don't want to doom scroll and you just want to get on X for 5 minutes, get the information and get off the platform, this is the man to follow. He's on top of all of it. He says the new Charlie Kirk show has a major meltdown after learning that Joe Kent is willing to testify in the Charlie Kirk assassination trial. They say that American people are betraying them. The show is demanding that no questions be asked about the assassination and that Israel not to be blamed. This is really personal. I'm fed up with it. Check this out.
Some people are so obsessed with these same conspiracies that they concoct for every other thing that ever happens. And so they have to shove it into this one too, because they care more about their conspiracy theories than about the person who murdered my friend facing justice. I am fed up with it.
Yeah, and you should be. This is, I mean, this is a tough job for us today, to be honest, because this is really personal. I have been open to everything. I think, candidly, I don't get enough credit for even the fact that I shared these group chats in the first place. We shared a lot of information about trans, about Charlie, how Charlie was more concerned about than any other community about the trans coming after him. You want to know the truth? That's actually the truth. I heard over the course of the last 2 years of Charlie's life, probably about 50 references of how he knew that trans Tifa was going to come after him. And he was worried about that. That's the truth. Never mentioned one time about the Jews. Okay? Never once. And here's why it's so frustrating is because there is going to be even more evidence that is presented to the public in May at the evidentiary hearing, okay? And it's a mountain of evidence, some of which has been made public, some of which has not been made public yet. And the prosecution is going to lay out its case against Tyler Robinson. And I'm told it's a whopper. I'm told they've got this guy dead to rights. And meanwhile, you have government officials that are now saying on the record to journalists, they are willing to testify on behalf of the defense to get, ostensibly, to get Tyler Robinson off the hook for something that he did. And so the level of betrayal that I currently feel is dramatic and extreme. The level of just frustration, the idiocy that is on full display, we have to call it out, because if this ends up screwing up the jury pool, if this ends up in some ways getting a hung jury, getting this case thrown out, or even just getting the death penalty off the case, off the potential list of consequences here, I'm not going to be happy with that.
And the reason they're so butthurt about this is because they want a death sentence for Tyler Robinson. They don't want reporters and people going into the prisons and talking to this kid for the next 20 years and their entire charade getting unraveled. They also don't want the innocent man that thinks he's going to be out of jail in the next couple of years when they fake his death after they give him the fake death sentence. They don't want him sitting in prison because maybe they couldn't convince somebody, oh yeah, we're going to frame you for this crime, but trust me, we're going to get you the death penalty. And then in 2 years, you're going to be out. It's all big one operation. Trust the plan. You're getting the death penalty. You'll be out of this prison before we can, you'll be out before Ghislaine Maxwell. We already know Ghislaine Maxwell's not even in prison. She's got a body double in there. Epstein, they faked his death and got him out. So you mean to tell me that Tyler Robinson's going to serve life in prison? The man that they framed, the one who's just kept his mouth shut, his family's kept their mouth shut. He's the perfect fall guy. I'm not fucking buying it. You buying it? I'm not fucking buying it. Drop some comments below. Let me know what you think about these clowns.
All right, so bring me in. All right, so I don't know if you know this or not. Well, I'm going to break some news right now. It's all connected, all of it. The pipe bomb, Charlie Kirk's death, Erica Kirk being crazy, look, the whole thing, Iran war, going after Tucker Carlson, going after Joe Kent, going after, everybody, going after Candace, going after all these people that just want the truth. Now, listen, I said my piece in the beginning of this. So in my open monologue, I said my piece, okay, about what I really think. Now, I don't know if Trump is compromised, if they, tried to take his, splatter his brains out at a rally, and so they came to him and said that the next time we won't miss, or if it's because he's worried about his kids, or what, I don't know. Now, I know this is a complete 360 from where I was at, but does Trump look anything like what he looked like a year ago? I mean, he doesn't. He does not. And I don't know. We could blame it on age. We could blame it on working too much. We could blame it on all those things. And, so they get up there and they make all these well wishes and all this stuff. They tell us how, great he's doing, all that stuff. Fine. Okay, sure. Great. Pete Hegseth's up there talking about we're going to fight to the end, all this stuff. And they're not going. Lindsey Graham's not going to be in on the first fucking Black Hawk that lands over there. But they sure do want us to send our children over there, right? So when I say that Ryan Mata has a point, I think you should not take it lightly, because this is why. You got a lot of different things going on simultaneously right now that don't make sense. And now they're going after Joe Kent. They're going after Joe Kent, who is got like I think 6 Brown stars or something, 11 tours to Afghanistan, been deployed 11 times, lost his wife in Syria, all these things. And now they're smutting him up, saying that he is leaking, right? It's just crazy. The shit just fucking is crazy. And then if you haven't had an opportunity to watch Serafin's show today, he breaks down the pipe bomber and all the elements around the whole thing, all of it. It's all connected. Every little tiny piece of this all goes together, and it all points in one direction. And it's sad for me to say that it points straight at Israel. It just does. I mean, look, I tried to step away, go around it, not say, just all this stuff. And, everywhere you look, it just lands the same place every time. And please get in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me, send me, something that shows me that it's not that, because right now, all that I see is Trump's manipulated for whatever reason, however this is going down, for Epstein files, Iran war, Charlie Kirk's death, Butler shooting. I mean, it's all of it is connected. Prove me wrong, just prove me wrong. That's all I got to say, and just a reminder about all this stuff that's going on right now. Play 4D, Mr. Webb. Go ahead, play 4D. Yeah, there you go. Double click.
Yeah, you're going to have to earn our trust on this one. This is more Israel pushing for Iran, but is that America's problem? That's a question. I mean, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe the answer is, you know what? They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about the Taliban. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. They were wrong about Yemen. They were wrong about the Arabian Peninsula. They were wrong about the 9/11 hijackers being Saudi Arabian. But hey, 10th time's a charm. This time we're actually right. Yeah, you're going to have to earn our trust on this one.
So Charlie Kirk was in the White House, Oval Office, and on his way to the Oval Office, Joe Kent seen him in the hallway, and he says, "Don't get us out of this war with Iran, or don't let us go to war with Iran, or whatever." Charlie Kirk. By the way, I believe at this point now, looking at all the things that's happened, they killed him because he was talking about the Iran thing. Now, so that would mean that who would kill him? Oh, wait, maybe it's the same one that came out hours after Charlie Kirk's death and said that he had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. What do I know? I don't know anything. I don't know anything. So anyway, I don't know. All right, John. Let's wrap. Let's go for 6AA. Go for it.
The International Energy Agency has dropped another bombshell from its Paris headquarters, unleashing a fresh 10-point plan dubbed Sheltering from Oil Shocks. Released amid Brent crude spiking toward $120 a barrel and the Strait of Hormuz largely shut down. The document urges governments to slash global oil demand by an estimated 2.7 million barrels per day within 4 months. Key COVID 2.0-esque measures include mandating work from home up to 3 days a week, dropping highway speed limits by at least 6 to 10 miles per hour, imposing car-free Sundays in major cities, alternating vehicle access by license plate where odd-numbered plates get access on certain days and even-numbered plates get access on the other days, pushing carpooling and public transportation as we dwell in a reality where all of the machete-wielding lunatics are free to injure anyone they please under Blue City Soros DAs, cutting non-essential business flights by 40%, and promoting efficient trucking and rail alternatives. Yeah, the trucking industry rife with illegal aliens.
This illegal immigrant came into America in March of 2022. He was given a federal work permit by the Biden-Harris administration, and Gavin Newsom gave him a CDL license. On this day, he was driving intoxicated. When the traffic in front of him slowed down, he didn't slow down, and he plowed right through 8 cars, immediately killing 3 individuals and seriously injuring 4.
And the rail alternative from the likes of the $16 billion California Governor Newsom burned to create nothing.
You want to be big, you got to be big in big things. This is the only high-speed rail system of its type anywhere in the United States of America. You could talk all you want. You guys are actually delivering, making things happen.
On the surface, it reads like pragmatic crisis management for a genuine supply crunch. But we just went through this engineered behavioral control bureaucratic nightmare, and in some respects, we still are. And I guarantee the American people are not going to line up like sheep this time. This isn't the first time the IEA has rolled out such a blueprint. Back in 2022, amid the Russia-Ukraine fallout, they issued an almost identical 10-point plan to cut oil use that pushed remote work, slower speeds, car-free days, and reduced air travel, measures that conveniently aligned with the post-COVID new normal of emerging restricted mobility and digital surveillance. Now, in 2026, the agency is recycling the playbook under the guise of sheltering consumers with language like immediate actions for advanced economies and heavy emphasis on limiting personal freedom of movement that will quickly morph into policy mandates, fines, internment camps, and enforcement grids. The IEA's own net zero by 2050 roadmap has long telegraphed the end game, slashing fossil fuel demand not through abundant, cheap energy, but through rationing your lifestyle. The populace corralled like sheep, all while the elites jet between climate summits and award ceremonies. Expect the usual cascade towards establishment insolence, where corporate compliance, media cheerleading, and gradual normalization of surveillance apps to optimize your carbon or oil footprint ramp up. The Agenda 2030 goal is less than 4 years away, and the fools are going for broke. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
Yeah. So, yes. So, Agenda 2021, right? And then they extended it to 2030. And our dollar's being crushed. This war is not helping. The mullahs are over there selling oil and using the Chinese yang or whatever it is for people to buy oil, not the US dollar, which, makes our dollar even worse. We have the globalists just loving this, the World Economic Forum just loves all this going on because it crushes the American people, and that's what crushes the world, really. When you think about it, how the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and so oil's being the only people that are getting oil is like China, people that are allies with the mullahs, right, with Iran. Everybody else is getting strangled, and it's not getting better. They're talking about sending military, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, etc., into supposedly to take over islands. And if you had an opportunity to see, I think I played it last week, but earlier, maybe Monday or I don't know, whichever day I sent it, Saturday, whenever it was, I don't know, the days just kind of go together. When I played the clip where he was talking about going in on the ground in Iran is like the worst thing that you could do because especially if you go to one of those islands, they'll just send 1,000 missiles to the island and kill everybody that lands on the island. It makes no sense to me. But for some reason, somebody in the White House or Pentagon or whatever is telling Trump that he's got this in the bag, and we can clearly see like Israel's being fucking just pummeled, man. Like maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe once Israel's flattened, maybe this whole thing will get better. But it just seems like to me that whatever information Trump is getting is just the worst information ever. And you know what? Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just freaking out for no reason. But I got to tell you, when they start coming for our sons and daughters, what are you going to say then? Because, if we keep fighting, we go over there, another forever war. We was in the last one for over 20 years, and we got out of there and we made no dent. They're still the same. It's still the same thing in Afghanistan, right? Maybe even worse. We left $85 billion worth of equipment there that they've split between all the Taliban and ISIS and all that and China. They all got all of our weapons, and then they were able to build more weapons by using our weapons as models for the best equipment in the world, because that's one thing we do have is we have the best equipment in the world. Our technology is much better than any other countries for sure. But now they have our prototype. Now they know exactly what we make, how we make. Like, they don't have night vision. Now they've got night vision. I don't remember how many. It was a lot. It was a lot of night vision. Just that alone. They could never attack us at night because they had no night vision. And now they have, I don't know, 100,000 night vision goggles, whatever it was. I don't remember the number, but it was a lot. Anyway, so John, play 6D, and we'll be right back.
Similarly, and if there's some very good open source intelligence sites that we've seen a flow of the special operations commands, kind of lead elements, Army's Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, the Task Force 160, that's the U.S. Special Operations Aviation, 75th Ranger Regiment. They also have been going to the Middle East on C-17s, multiple flights over the last 48 hours. So we're seeing the deployment of what are ground forces. And so I think that's something that, one should take note of, in particular, because in the past, when Trump has done this, whether it's the Venezuela operation with Maduro or the initial kickoff in Iran, when he moves military assets, he actually uses them. And in particular, we also have to remember that the Marine Expeditionary Unit, the one coming from the Pacific, that will be on station by Friday in the area too. So that's another contingent of Marines. So there are ground forces flowing to the region. I think that's really significant.
There you go. So we know that Trump uses, you heard what he said, right? We know that when he sends troops in, he uses them. He don't just position them and leave them waiting, right? That would be a Bush thing, right? Bush would send all of them out there, and they'd sit around a military base for 6 months, a year, or whatever, and not do nothing. But, if Trump moves them in, he's going to attack. And then we're going to have, our troops on the ground in Iran. And just for clarity, what Iran looks like is cliffs. It's cliffs everywhere, and they have cities inside those mountains. Because what they do is they'll open up their mountain, shoot off 1,000 missiles, and then close it back up, and then go to the next site where they have another 1,000 missiles, and they shoot them from there, or they shoot here and there. That's what they do. And so when you think about what's going on, this is not good. I mean, maybe, I'm not a military guy, so maybe I don't know something. Maybe they're not, I'm definitely not read in on it, but everybody that has any common sense is saying this is the worst fucking thing that Trump has ever done by going into Iran and doing this war. That's just it. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let's roll John. Let's see. 2B, please.
Well, the Pentagon told Trump not to go to war with Iran because they'd done a lot of the war games, not just militarily, but economically, and said it would basically go from bad to worse. But Trump is the president. He's not a puppet. He does what he thinks is best. He thinks Israel's right. That somehow we would have some big, quick, magic victory. He was bolstered by Venezuela, which I was worried about. Venezuela is a totally different situation than Iran. Oil prices are up 11%. They're estimated by the major oil companies and consortiums to double within a month.
You saw prices surge 25%, oil Brent nearing $120. And then there was an FT report just out in the last hour or so saying that G7 members will be meeting later today, early U.S. morning, to discuss a potential joint release of the strategic oil reserves. And then prices kind of tapered a bit. You're still above $100 a barrel, which is huge.
If the strait continues to be cut off, it is causing a cascading effect of the economy. And we've gone over the different economists' analysis. They all agree that a closure of the Strait of Hormuz for 3 months would more than double the price of oil and send shockwaves. It would take, even if it opened back up, many months to reverse. And if you got 6 months of oil prices being doubled, you pack that into the economy as the truest form of inflationary drive, and you get the entire Trump recovery plan 100% dead in the water and the U.S. bankrupt for sure. And a lot of people were like, look, Jones just now discovered that Israel controls U.S. foreign policy. No.
The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States.
They have meddled, and they've been trying to get us to go to full war with Iran for 40 years. And they didn't have full control, or it would have happened. Now, I'm saying now they do, and they're calling the shots. You cut and dry. That's the big demarcation line. The Secretary of State saying, oh, yeah, Israel did this, so we have to. It's that it's cut and dry. There's no debate about it.
Biden released the money, gave it to the mullahs. The mullahs turned around and financed Hezbollah, Hamas, October 7th, the Houthis, and whatever other terror groups they could fund. That's what happened.
We got to talk about how we get back control of the country. So Trump's entire agenda to secure the dollar, get us out of the edge of bankruptcy, get tens of trillions of investment in, reindustrialize the country, stop World War III with Russia. His entire laudable agenda is in deep, deep trouble over the Iran situation. He was advised by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the majority of his advisors. The majority said, bare minimum, this is a major destabilizer, will massively jack up energy prices, and will cause a cascading effect. Don't do it. And Trump still did it. And the Strait of Hormuz is still shut down, and it's going to be shut down for a long time because the Iranians haven't even tried to block it completely yet. They just sunk a few ships. And now the U.S. says, we're going to escort you through. And they got a bunch of oil drilling rigs that have their own engines and their own systems, and they could just turn those on and send them right out and turn the motors off and deflate them, and they go to the bottom. And the U.S. can sit there and try to stop them while they do it, but the Iranians are suicidal. They'll just continue to do it. Maybe it takes them a few hours until it just, like Tetris, just piles up all the wreckage, and now it's shut. And now every time we try to go haul it out or dredge it out, they're going to be shooting at us. We'll be shooting at them, and then you know what's going to happen. We've got to send in troops just to secure the IRC headquarters. That's where that little tip sticking down from Iran, that peninsula, that's where the IRC headquarters is, right across from that tip, right on the other side of that island. They got all their bunkers and all their secret bunkers and all their spider holes and all their weapons, and they got trap doors with good old-fashioned artillery, heavily militarized on both sides, and all they got to do is roll it out, and they can sink whatever they want. So that's called putting yourself in checkmate.
Yeah, so, when you think about that, it's like, okay, so crude oil right now is coming in at between 90 and 92 dollars a barrel. So it has came down. It was 110 last week. So the highest looks like it opened 5 days ago at 119. Excuse me. So so they have got it down some because Trump's running around talking about how he's got a deal with Iran, but Iran said they're not making no deal. They're not doing a deal unless you get all your troops out of all the Middle East. No American soldiers in the Middle East, and then they'll stop. That's what they're saying. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's where we're at on that. I mean, we got. I want to play this one. Let's do. I want to cover this. The 6B, John. Play 6B. Before you do, hold on. I want to talk about oil.
Well. Total vindication.
Oh, go ahead, clip it.
for General Michael Flynn, former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, former National Security Advisor to Trump. Justice Department settled for over $1 million for their witch hunt against him. Tulsi Gabbard last year released the documents that he was totally innocent, that it was all lies, but he didn't have a bunch of money and they were persecuting him, so he pled guilty. And now he's been totally vindicated. There was no Russiagate. Trump wasn't involved. He wasn't involved. We already know that. And now they've settled for over $1 million. So I get messages, every few weeks from him. I send him messages. We're talking a lot a month ago. So I thought, hey, let me send him a congratulations. And so I went into the text messages literally while I'm driving home tonight at 8 o'clock, like 8:50 now when I'm taping this. I just pulled over to do it. And it says number blocked. Normally it says you blocked this number, which I hardly ever block numbers, but it's spam, block it. Never blocked his number. I mean, this is just insane, folks. It's the technocracy. It's how they do this stuff. So I just talked to him, via text. He said, F them. I'll get him on the show soon, as soon as you can. But this is the technocracy, folks. So I'm going to get a new number. And I've seen this before with a few other prominent people where they tried to contact me and said that my number was blocked. So it's just crazy. And sure enough, Flynn's been trying to send me important stuff. He's been trying to contact me and wondering why. He has to call my producers and ask me to call him. I hadn't gone and looked that his number was blocked. This is the chicken shit stuff the globalists can do. They love it. Of course, decades ago, I told you the NSA was spying on citizens illegally and all the rest of them while eating jihadis alone. Doesn't matter. We're going to win this thing, as Flynn said in a text earlier to me. America's waking up, the world's waking up, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, there's problems with Trump. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You just got to try to correct course. As Joe Kent said, he resigned to get done. But definitely the deep state's scared. They're definitely out of control. I saw some of the comments. It was trending top X. The Justice Department settling with Flynn for the witch hunt against him. They're like, oh my God, he's a traitor. Why did Trump do this? I'm glad the DOJ was actually able to do something good. It killed the auto pit investigation. Where's all the Russiagate stuff? It goes on and on. Where's all the Doge prosecutions with all the red-handed hundreds of billions stolen? At least they did this. A blind hog can find acorns, or a broken clock's right twice a day. I don't want to not believe in the DOJ. I don't want to not believe in Trump. But damn it, I need to see some movement here. You had Todd Blanche kill the investigation in the DOJ and CIA run the lawfare against me. That got declassified and it came out in court. It's bigger than me, folks. They do it to me, they do it to you. All right, it's almost 9. I'm going to go in here and eat some dinner and go to bed. I'm usually getting home a little bit early with my family, but stuff's going down, so I got to work extra hard. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, what have you done for your country? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It doesn't mean we're in some communist system. It don't mean we make the government we've got. Good men and women have to be engaged. Thomas Jefferson was asked, why do evil men and tyrants flourish? He said, evil men and tyrants flourish when good men do nothing. Well, General Flynn is an American hero and a patriot and incredible, and this is really good news. And just thank God we've got something the Trump DOJ has done right. Hopefully it's a start of a trend, because I'd love to be the leader of their fan club.
All right. Thank you, John. Yeah, so General Flynn, as you know, most of you probably already know this, that he was arrested. He was, 3-star general, and they tricked him into taking a deal, and then they dropped the case on him because they found out that it was fraudulent, and then he sued them, and they settled for $1 million. So, that's good. I mean, that's good. I mean, 10 years later, but, remember, he was, in the administration right when Trump got into office in 2017. So, anyway, this is what we're up against. We're always up against some bullshit. So this is part of it. So, these two clips are unrelated, but we're going to play them back to back. We're going to play 6E and then 6F back to back.
As an American male, I will no longer associate myself with the Republican Party. Now, before you jump down my throat about it, I will never associate myself with the Democratic Party. They are crazy. They are lunatics. They are insane. They are demons. I will never associate with them. But as a United States Marine, I will not associate myself with cowards, and that's exactly what these Republicans in Congress are. They are cowards. There is no greater evidence that we're not being governed, we're being ruled than the SAVE Act. The American voter went out there and they put Republicans in charge of both the House of Representatives and the Congress and the presidency, and we still can't have it. It's a Republican resolution. 80% of the country wants it, still can't have it. Don't want to do it. These Republicans know full well that if the SAVE Act passes, then the Democratic Party is basically at death's door because they can't win elections fairly. They can't. If the only people showing up to vote are vetted American citizens, the Democratic Party's done. And Republicans know that, but they still won't pass it. Why? Because they're in on it. It's the Republicans' job to create the illusion of opposition, and it's the Democrats' job to completely transform the country into a socialist hellscape. The Republicans are there merely to create the illusion that you have some kind of a protection, and you don't. They're shaking hands in the back burner and collecting money. That's what they're doing. They're laughing at you behind closed doors. They have successfully transformed this nation that used to be the beacon of freedom for the entire world. They have successfully transformed this nation into a taxation labor slave camp from coast to coast. Doge uncovers tens of billions of dollars of fraud. We're still paying for it. They put it on the back burner and won't even freaking vote on it. Minnesota, $90 billion in fraud. They're more mad at the people that exposed it than the people that did it. We can't have this. Can't have it. Why are we paying taxes at this point? Who are we paying them to? They don't care. They're going to collect your money knowing the full well that the cost of living is absolutely ridiculous. And they're still going to pull 37% of your income just in federal income taxes alone and go to the beach and sip Mai Tais. This is not the country that I grew up in. We have got to starve these people of our taxes. Starve them. We have got to figure out a way. No more taxes. No more until something changes. That's the only way we save this country.
I see you, Turning Point USA, trying to throw Joe Kent under the bus, trying to undermine anyone, regardless of their credibility, who comes out and says that Charlie's death deserves further investigation. Why don't you want that? Andrew Colvett just went on Charlie's podcast and said that it was Joe Kent, the same Joe Kent who just resigned as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center because he said we were dragged by Israel into the conflict with Iran. Yeah, that guy. That's who Colvett said he shared the screenshot with, where Charlie was expressing his concern that Israel was going to retaliate now that Charlie was removing himself, distancing himself from the Israeli cause. Unless you forget, he was doing that because Israel is committing a genocide. In a normal world where people are sane, that does remove one's support from a country or cause. Now, Kent's under investigation by the FBI for apparently releasing classified information in the wake of his resignation, which, by the way, indirectly points to the credibility of what he's saying. If he's spewing nonsense, then why are they investigating him? Since resigning, Kent has gone on Tucker, he's gone on Megyn, and he has said that all of the leads in Charlie's death were not followed, that he was actively blocked by top-level FBI, despite ground-level FBI agreeing that there were other leads that needed to be followed. But no. He was blocked by Kash Patel and the administration from following those leads. And Kent is not denying that Robinson was involved, but he points to the fact that people were posting and undoubtedly knew Charlie was going to die before he died. It doesn't take a genius to conclude there were more people than Tyler involved in this plan. Not to mention all the discrepancies we've talked about ad nauseum and the things that do not add up about this case. Isn't it interesting, though, that everyone who still wants to support the Zionist cause and TPUSA and the Tyler Robinson narrative is finding a way to undermine and discredit Kent? You know, anyone who questions the narrative surrounding Charlie's death gets investigated by the FBI. Not the potential people involved, not the people who have lied or contradicted themselves about the case, not anyone who's in the Epstein files, including a real estate company that was really cozy with Epstein and Larry Silverstein, where Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, happened to start working the month after she met him, up until she became CEO of his organization. If you go on Twitter, everyone who still supports this cause and this organization and Erica, all they can do is rip the people coming out, pointing out inconsistencies, doing what Joe and Candace and these others are doing. All they're trying to do is rip them a new one, point out how they're evil and demonic. It is the cultiest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's frankly why I've woken up and left this movement, and why hundreds of us have. We may not get arrested in this lifetime, but I do believe people will be exposed, and there will certainly be justice on the other end.
All right, bring me in. All right, good job, John. All right, so everyday normal people like myself have said, I've had enough. This is it. We've had enough. It's over. We're done. We're done with the bullshit. We're done with the lies. We're done with the fake stuff, what's Candace say? It's fake and gay. And now I'm starting to believe I understand why she says that, because it's just the truth. So I played that last clip for a reason, because we're going to start with Charlie Kirk on Friday. So we're going to go deep down into Charlie Kirk, the Epstein files, and we'll catch you up on whatever Iran war is going on. But that's Friday, so you don't want to miss it. We have, I've been kind of telling you that we're going to do a deep dive into Charlie Kirk. We haven't done it yet, but we're going to do it on Friday. I just wanted for John to be here with me to help me go through it, because we've been having conversations about it quite a bit. So we will be doing that. And so thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, why not? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the algorithm. Leave a comment. Tell me how horrible it is that my son's over here pushing buttons. Whatever. Just leave a comment. Share this information everywhere. Go to My Patriot Supply if you go to the show notes, go to My Patriot Supply. Maybe you should probably think about getting some restorable food or a generator. So when they cut the power off, because that's what's next, then you'll be able to take care of your family. And when everything goes dark, which it seems like more and more that's what's going to happen, because if we keep pushing, they're going to start pushing back. They've already said that they could take our power grid out really easily, and I believe it. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you for being here. God bless you all. Please be safe out there. Pay attention to your surroundings. I covered it yesterday or the other day. You want to make sure that wherever you go and whatever you do, you want to be careful. That Iran did send a threat out. There's a big threat assessment going on about Iran attacking us on the homeland. Just be mindful of that if you're at churches or, farmers markets or, malls, Lord forbid, or, movie theaters, different things like that. Just want to be paying attention to your surroundings for sure. God bless you all. We'll see you Friday. We'll see you on Friday. And until then, God bless you all. God bless you all. Have a good night.